Hi fam, it's Dylan's mum Deborah. This is Dyl Friends.
He gives you a back rub and says, you're going well, Brian. Oh, it's special.
Get comfortable, be uncomfortable. Just keep showing up and find a way.
Cam was so nervous he couldn't swallow water.
Handed him a sheet of paper with 6 names and said, Chief, we've got to cut these 6 blokes.
Wow, shut up. I've just been barbed by a stingray, mate.
I'm just yelling, well, you saved my life, you saved my life, you saved my life. Thank you, thank you.
I spent the last, I think it was a couple of weeks in jail. The deepest, darkest moments often bring about our biggest highs.
We're on this week. There's no sponsor. So this one's just coming. The invoices is coming straight to me.
Yeah.
There was a few questions in here saying,
Yeah.
does with the invoicing for the show?
I reckon he could.
No, but they're saying
could get on board.
Does Brett or does Mick invoice more, or is it the same amount? And as a network, I can't withdraw what both are invoicing.
Well, funnily enough,
Disclose or withdraw?
I can't.
Which
disclose.
one?
I can't disclose.
we've actually
You can butcher the English language, though.
I can disclose.
Oh, okay.
That Brett and I have reached a handshake agreement for him to take over managerial role of myself.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
he will see the incomings and
Okay, so
outgoings.
you'll see him out because Brett will.
So Brett will
I'd
know.
be worried because
so now both of you will know.
For all commercial stuff, though, Mick is 20%.
I'd be worried because the invoice that Brett sent me this morning, it had him losing money. I think it didn't even make sense. It had about 7 different figures that didn't add up. I said, Brett, are you okay? Were you drunk when you put this together? It just...
I copy and pasted one that I had from the DLR day.
It was great. Anyway, boys, how are we?
Mate,
You well?
never better.
Yeah, what's
never
happening?
better.
Hey, happy birthday on the weekend. First birthday for your little Lonnie. Yeah.
Lonnie was 1 on Saturday.
You've made it. You've got through the first 12 months. You've made it.
How bad? Oh, I shouldn't say this.
How much
How much
got spent? That's what I want to know, because ours was extravagant for our first kid.
Well, interesting. Like Riley's friends, who are now my friends, obviously.
Our friends.
Our friends.
What are their names?
Andy and Liam.
Jess.
So they're a clique. Like, there's a good clique. They've grown up together.
Yeah.
A posse. The posse that have grown up 5 minutes from each other. If someone moves to a suburb,
They all go.
15 minutes away, they cut them out.
Yeah,
Too hard.
fair
Too
enough.
hard. Anyway, that's their group. They all listen to this show, so I'm fucked. But anyway. Apparently there were whispers going around the party. It's actually like reporting and journalistic stuff. I've got a mate, one of my really close mate I used to play at Werribee with years ago, so Staunch. He's in the clique as well.
Oh.
And he was getting some filtered information that there were segments of the party that weren't happy because it was a 10 to 12 p.m. party, like a morning thing. You know, get up, after morning tea, presents, piss off, enjoy your Sunday. There's murmurings that I'd shorted them, that I hadn't put the piss on. I'd gone an early party. I'd gone a morning party.
That's probably a fair shout, actually.
To not be able to...
You can't discriminate because it's 12 o'clock somewhere for someone.
Yeah. And
Was that true?
that was filtering. I was more than happy to getting it out.
Yeah, okay.
Getting it out. And but that was filtering around the party. I was a tight ass.
I hadn't paid the invoice, so
Well,
maybe
that's
that was he's waiting to get the
he
fix
needed
for
the
the
extra
party.
200.
So that's great, mate. Well done.
Hang on, how much?
160 minus commission.
Yeah. First birthday, done and dusted. Mate, you go home. You go home with more presents than you have. I have to buy a new house.
Yeah, well.
There's no room. All the presents you get.
How good's that?
I did ours after a night game, so I was no good on clean up. Then after that, I just went and slept on the couch. Luckily, Mum was there and mother-in-law. So that was 8 years ago now. My eldest one's just turned 8, so
Unbelievable.
farewell.
I got a 14-week-old too, just to fit in.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's going well. I had the best weekend with him I've had in his life.
Oh, you
I
were
reckon.
telling us before you had the best weekend.
I just had a great weekend, mate. Like I was,
Needed a jumper.
I needed a jumper.
Yeah.
I just had a good, I did all the shit. I don't know if this is a dad thing now that, I'd ask you guys about. You just went out in the backyard. I had like 400 fucking boxes, broke them all up, organised them to start putting through the recycling, went out, did all the washing, just cleaned all the shit that I needed to do, and I've just had the best weekend ever. Like, you know what I mean? Is that a dad thing?
Our good mate
Is it a
Tommy
man
Sheridan.
Yes.
In Europe.
Our
Sunning-
acquaintance.
Our acquaintance.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's not a mate of the show
Yeah, he's
anymore.
edgy at the moment. But I'm watching his Instagram and seeing him sunburnt. And
It's work over there,
out
though,
in
isn't
Europe.
it?
Yeah. Bit of work, bit of play. And you're folding boxes. And
Yeah.
you think you're having a good weekend.
I know. But that's life these days.
Yeah.
You've got to adapt with the times and got to bring a young man into the world and,
Yeah.
instill
Teach him
some
what hard
work
work
ethic
is.
into him and all those bits and pieces. So
Did you do your breakfast thing? Sunday breakfast?
I did, but I didn't film it.
Right.
Yeah.
Is that because I listened last week?
Because Bull is, I made the same thing again,
was
so
nervous.
I need to get something else in the repertoire. But yeah, the Bull was good last week. Did you enjoy that?
Liked it. Like Bull was like a tag team. You two under Brett with the mountain bike.
Now, can I just tell you something else that happened? I wasn't going to talk about this because I feel like we've done it to death.
I love how you're embracing it now.
It's great. I don't like that he's embracing
That's
it.
what I picked up on the show. Brett's now at ease with being a staunch mountain biker.
See, the one thing that still gets under his skin is when I tell him about the MCG. So I'm just going to have to keep going with that one because the biking one, he loves it now. He's embraced it, so that annoys me.
Hey, and by the way, no sponsor for the show. So any
Cannondale.
We're going to work on Cannondale.
Giant. Sorry. I had a few calls this morning, so I had a funny missed call from a message I had from a mutual friend, maybe Ted Richards. You guys know Ted?
I know Teddy.
Teddy.
Our
Great
kids go to
man,
school
Ted.
together.
And funnily enough, we were just chatting about some other things. He's mentioning me about the pod that was out this morning.
He's a mountain biker.
He is a mountain biker. He's a mountain biker. And so I called Ted.
Yeah.
And we were just like, oh.
What was it?
No, he was on the way.
What are you
I had
doing?
this call from him because he was laughing about, I had a podcast this morning with Kick It Forward, which in that podcast, we were talking about Dome cafes. Now, you know Dome in Perth.
WA. Yeah.
And I was taking the piss out of Dome. Like, you know, when you're a footy player, for those who are out there haven't been to Perth, there's like a Starbucks equivalent called Dome. And you'd go over there. You'd go be playing it at like the...
Everywhere you turn,
at
there's a
Subiaco,
dome.
There's just fucking domes everywhere. And all the players would be like... You go, oh, where's the best place to get a coffee around here? And Cripper and all the boys are like, oh, man, I know the best place. And then you'd rock up to this fucking dome. And you're like, this is the shittest place ever. No
Get a
offense.
bucket of latte.
Like it's like a Starbucks. Like, there's like grandmas there and it's like just... it's like hog's breath for coffee, basically.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
he
No,
was
you've
just
summed it up.
going, mate, I've ran with that gag for so long and no one else has like appreciated it.
Yeah.
The dome gag. And anyway, we're just having a laugh about dome. And after that, he goes, oh, it's actually funny because I said, mate, if you're around today, come on the show.
Yeah.
He goes, oh, I'd love to. You know, I've been listening in and hearing about Brett mountain bike riding. And he said it was funny the other day because your daughter and his son go to the same school.
Yeah.
And he said that Brett and he were talking a lot about mountain biking and Ted loves his mountain bike,
Yeah.
but he's not as into
Not
it
as-
as Brett is, you know.
yeah, which would be hard.
And Brett goes, yeah, mate, I've got 6 bikes, so I've been up to Mount Terrible this weekend. And Ted's just like, wait, I'm out of depth here. This guy's the fucking Tony Soprano of mountain bike riding, and he was even out of his depth himself. So there you go.
Soprano? Is that the only name you could come up
I
with?
was thinking of Dave Mirra, but I don't know why I couldn't get it.
Dave Mirra would have been closer than Tony
sorry,
Soprano.
I was thinking Tony Hawk. I think I was thinking Tony Hawk, sorry.
He rides a skateboard.
Yeah, so to Tony Hawk, what skateboarding is to Tony Hawk,
Yeah.
mountain biking is to
It's
Brett
to Brett,
Deledio.
yeah.
That's gold.
So yeah, it was good.
Anyway, good. Yeah, great weekend. Great start.
Thanks, mate. How was the weekend?
Yeah, good. Yeah.
Did you do much?
No.
All right, before this whole thing goes to bed, should we...
I don't even get a chance.
No.
He's too
No,
busy.
how you went and watched? Give us a rundown.
I was actually thinking,
Vic
though,
Country, Vic Metro.
I want to hear that. I do want to
You
hear that
would've
as
done
well.
well.
I wasn't there. I
do
was
wanna hear-
commentating the game.
He was going. I do want to
North
hear that.
Melbourne
Oh, let's talk about that game.
But first, I just want to say, maybe because the gag has become a bit of a cult figure, runs a show now.
Yeah.
Do we, next time Brett goes mountain bike riding,
go
do
with
we
him?
try go with him and
Yeah, I
have a
think
bit
you
of a
should.
day? I'd love to.
Have you got a bike? I've got one spare. I haven't got
He
6.
said you got 6. Yeah,
Teddy
okay.
did say that.
So you've got 2 mountain bikes.
Yeah. One's for sale.
Well, we'll talk about this off air. I'd love to do it. We'll go and film
Yeah,
it and
yeah.
have a good day.
Log it.
I reckon
Out
I
to
could actually...
Listerfield. I reckon we should get the Listerfield nice and easy,
Yeah,
not so
Actually,
far away.
I'm not joking when I
Intermediate.
say this, and I'm not trying to stir you up, but I reckon I'd beat you on the mountain bike by far.
Okay. Yeah, so
Okay.
No, I'm risk averse. I wouldn't be taking you two on the trails.
All right, we'll see how we go. Brettles, talk us
Yeah.
through the game on the weekend you did. It sounded like a good one.
Yeah, it was a ripper. No, it's North Melbourne Hawthorn, 16th versus 17th, and it was every bit of that, unfortunately. But well under the Hawks, I suppose. They're in a rebuild phase, and I suppose you could say that North have been for a little while too. But
They've regressed though, haven't they, this year?
oh, it's so
So
hard.
they
But,
were 2 and zip. They're now 2 and 15.
yeah.
Is that right? 2 and
Yeah,
15?
and this is the third 14-plus losing streak they've been on since 2020,
Yeah.
which is
And they didn't-
incredible.
So the game, right, because I turned it on packing up from the first birthday party about half time, and it was only like 2 or 3 goals in it, but it was all behinds.
Yeah, well,
So they
Hawthorn had kicked 3-13 to half time, and it was just like, if they kick straight, the game's done, and you probably can enjoy a bit of a massacre, you know?
Yeah.
Whereas when it's just point after point, and then I don't reckon I spoke for about 30 minutes because there's a special commentator.
How hard is it to there's not much specialty going on, is there?
You can't polish the turd, mate. Like, it's real hard to get on there and actually give a little bit, you know, but... I still had a bit of fun, mate. Like, I find gags in little things that happen out there.
Yeah, you're a funny bugger.
Yeah, I'll try my best.
The one part that I saw go viral on TikTok, actually, and we're not here to call players out at all or anything like that, but I will, was there's this play where I think Mackay was on Mitch Lewis.
Yeah.
And 3 North Melbourne players have just pressed up onto, like, one guy, and then they've just bombed the ball to Mitch Lewis in the goal square. It could have, like, just sat there for a minute. And he's just kicked a goal. And you're like, what the fuck? That's like the worst play I've ever seen.
It's the worst trade up I've ever seen.
The worst thing I've ever seen. Coach Killer, you're a coach yourself. How annoying is it when 3 get drawn to 1?
Well, I reckon, I think they're obviously being coached. I haven't seen it. I didn't see much of the footy yesterday at all, but coached to come forward to defend, wouldn't they? Yeah. And they've all seen.
You don't press laterally. You don't press laterally, Mick.
You don't trade in laterally.
You don't trade laterally
So they've
ever.
gone sideways.
So one's come from the front, but he was so late that one's come laterally, and then some other bloke's come. I don't know where he came from.
I was on with so this was a bit of my gold. Nathan Burke, I'll give myself a pump up here.
Because the ABC, not many would have heard this. So
Nathan Burke was like, oh, a great bit of vision to find Mitch Lewis out the back. I said, great bit of vision. I said, Ray Charles could have seen him out the back.
That's
a real crispy one, wasn't it?
I didn't really like that one. So I didn't realise this ABC on. Yeah, it's on radio.
Yeah,
no,
it's a radio station.
Yeah.
What do you listen to?
Oh, fucking mate, me crying. I don't know. That's great.
Tony Soprano.
Literally.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's covered off that game. Hawks are getting better. North.
We touch all the big issues here. North, Hawthorn, Freo,
West
Gold
Coast.
Coast.
Talk West Coast.
No, not yet. Dewey sacking we'll get to shortly. Brett, I want to talk to your expertise a little bit on this. So I know you didn't go to the game on the weekend, but talk us through the carnivals that's been happening at the moment.
Allies won for the first time ever, I think it was.
So they beat who?
Everyone.
They won the whole thing.
Yeah, won the
So
whole
you know
thing.
what I'm thinking?
Undefeated.
If they've started to win, it's time to disband them.
You reckon? Go back to New South Wales, Queensland.
They've got too much access, too many pies.
Yeah.
Too many pies. They're dipping from pies over here, pies over there, bringing all these pies together.
And this is the impact you see when players like yourself and I go up to these expansion clubs, and it broadens the game.
It does.
So that then these
There's
players,
more kids want to get involved.
You know, this young guy from Penrith goes, I want to be like that bloke. That's Dylan Buckley. I want to be like him. I'm going to start playing.
Tassie and Riverina, like Riverina area.
I would also say it's got a little bit to do with
a little bit to do with
Zero.
I think it's more the investment that the clubs have made. Not many, I don't think. But it's more the investment the clubs have made in their academies and what
James Peatling, by the way, is from Penrith.
That development really well. So Gold Coast will have 3, potentially 4 very early draft picks this year.
Yeah.
And New South Wales, Tassie got 2 really good players will be in the top 10.
Yeah, right.
That's Bush Rangers, or because Bush Rangers split like Victoria,
It's like that
New South Wales.
Wagga type area.
Well, Albury
Wodonga?
Yeah, so some can go up to GWS and Sydney and whatever else, or they're New South Wales. But
there was someone I was speaking to the other day, and it was a great list showing that Albury-Wodonga catchment zone.
Yeah, it's
of
huge.
like historically what players would have been in Giants zone.
Yeah. Well, I think they're going to get it back, actually, because they've had it taken off them over the last few years.
Yeah,
but
right.
I think they're actually going to get it back. But one of my young blokes I'm looking after, Connor O'Sullivan's an Albury boy. He actually won the MVP for the Allies. Went really well in the carnival. He would be straight to GWS, but now, because they've had it taken off him, it's probably a year, maybe 2 years too late. Won't get it.
Wow.
So he just goes into the open pool.
Yeah. And how long's that not been there for?
Would he prefer to
2016 or 17, I reckon.
What would his preference be? He just wants to play, I suppose.
He just wants to play, yeah. But mate, he's a Sydney supporter, so he's but he would be Giants Academy. Yeah.
So I'm just looking at it now, like talking about AFL players from Albury-Wodonga.
Yep.
Does that mean that if, say that's been there for forever in time, and it's not there at the moment, say it's just there, would any player that was from Albury-Wodonga have gone to the Giants? Had their potential to say like go to the Giants?
Albury, not Wodonga. Wodonga's Victorian side.
Sorry, Albury Tigers
Yep.
way.
Aubrey, Lavington.
Yeah, because
all
I'm just
those.
looking at it now. Like you got Spargo.
Yeah.
Obviously, Zach
So
Williams.
he was the year that was supposed to come.
So Spargo from Melbourne should have gone to the Giants. Really,
We would have, yeah.
Yeah. Wow. There you go. That's really
Because
interesting.
he trained there when I was first there, I remember, and I was like, "Oh, who's this little kid? He can seriously move."
Yeah.
And but the Giants knew that. Oh, he's training here, but we're not going to get a chance to get him.
Hey, what about Dougal Howard?
Big Dukes.
Dougal's from there.
There's a few. There's been some good players come out.
Justin Kaczynski,
Cuzzy, Lavington.
big cos. Yeah, Jacob Kaczynski too. Anyway, I won't bore you guys with that, but that was I was pretty interested in that because that's.
Yeah, but anyway,
I think Wayne Carey was on it. That's what I wanted to say. My friend.
He's
Wayne
Wagga
Carey.
Wagga. Yeah.
Who won, just before we wrap this one up, on
Sunday?
The under 18 stuff? Vic Metro, Vic Country. Who won that?
Country actually smacked them. Vic Metro haven't been great this year, so I'm not sure on the depth there with the Metro boys, but
Give me your
Harley
top
Reid
three.
is the number one pick. Played
By far?
and played well. Yeah.
Isn't that Nick Watson? I really like him.
He's similar height to you. Yeah.
He's a bit stronger than me.
He's a little bit
170.
More hair
yeah,
as
and
well.
handsomer.
And
Yeah.
stronger.
Yeah.
It's
better
similar
charisma.
swagger.
Apparently
Better at podcasts.
pays more as well. Yeah.
No, he's a clever little player, but he's, like I said, he's only 170, so makes it a bit harder. But
Can I have a segment here off the top, just
Yeah.
around Nick Watson, for example? I've seen this guy, like I watch a lot of the footy I consume of the under-18s on Baseline. You know,
Baseline,
it's
yeah.
just a great Instagram page if no one's seen it. And just like great highlights reels.
Goes to all the schools.
Would have loved that back in the day. How much would you have loved it just to... imagine Brett's tape back in the day of him just
The child
bouncing
prodigy.
down there. Just even a mountain biking one, him going down the mountain or something.
Yeah,
I
next
listened
back
last
then.
week in his long sleeve West Coast jumper.
Oh, that would have been
yeah,
great.
that's it.
That
Yeah,
would've been good.
Juddy wannabe.
So where I was going with that was, I can't even remember, but I was saying where we were going with that was when you're getting drafted, playing good footy, that would have been awesome. Who's a player that you played with that Nick Watson now, like he's a young guy, he's quite small, but back in the day, you know, they went through that like athletic period where smaller guys weren't getting picked up.
Yeah.
So I played with a guy Nick Marrick. So his brother was Adam Marrick. He used to play at Melbourne.
He played in Richmond.
And Richmond.
Yeah.
So his brother, Nick Marrick, I played with him at the Knights. He was actually at Calder Cannons. They cut him because he was too small, so he came to the Knights. And I reckon talent-wise, like one of the best players I've ever seen. But it was at that time where they just weren't picking up short guys.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I played with a guy under 15s. Joel Selwell played in that team as well. His name was Josh Smith, all Australian under 15, but like similar, would have been 165 at best, but built like a little brick shit house and just got a shitload of the footy, but never went any further really. I don't think I even saw his name in the NAB League post that or TAC Cup, whatever it was back then.
Hayden Ballantyne. Yeah.
But
He actually got there.
No,
Yeah.
I wouldn't call his career much.
Oh, wow. Wow.
It was the Who Am I in the newspaper yesterday.
What about...
Hayden's a good friend of mine, by the way.
Yeah, well, you
But
got
he's
lots of
separated by
friends.
the nullarbor. He's really fiery, and if he was close to me and you said that, he'd bash you.
Yeah, I've
So-
played on him before.
No, a couple.
Had
Like
nine
when
on
I
in the
played at
first
Werribee, when I got drafted, Dom Gleeson was a small...
Yeah, I know, Don, Coach Torquay.
Yeah, he was knee-eyed or a grasshopper, but just good footy IQ, couldn't kick over a jam tin and very slow, but just knew how to play the game. And great leadership, played a lot of state league footy, won a couple of premierships, and I think that height and pace got away from him.
You know what? Tommy Rockcliffe was probably one from back near home, was that he was questioned on his speed and his endurance and whatever else. Maybe his endurance probably not the thing, but... It was
But he
'cause
knew how to find the ball.
But he knew how to find the footy 50 times. Like it's like this kid can play.
Yeah.
I feel like nearly players that have changed that perception is like Clayton Oliver. Like, remember
He was a fat mess coming through.
He was a big boy,
Yeah.
and he was traditionally not quite wasn't very quick. He didn't
Kicking.
play any of the like Vic Metro, Vic Country, and then all of a sudden, just they were like, you know what, this kid's dominating so much, we have to pick him up.
It came down to play Richmond VFL. He had like 15, 20 touches like that, no worries at all. And the boys were like, who is this kid? Dimmer loved him. But pick forward at Melbourne in the end, wasn't he?
Yeah, mental. I love this chat. It's so interesting because there's just so many players that like were dominating but just didn't get picked up in those drafts. Another one comes
And then
to
you've
mind,
got the
Ricky
child
Mullins.
prodigies that come through that are fast and strong and tall and handsome and they stop trying at school when they're about 13 and then they get drafted.
You haven't read my book, have you?
Actually, it's just news to me that you've got a book.
I do have a book, yes.
And then they get drafted and then, this bloke's no good.
Yeah, that's basically
Well,
my
you
life.
lasted how long? 10 years or something?
Eight.
That's
Eight's a new 10.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, and the last year was obviously the Josh Kelly deal.
The last year was, just to keep him for one more year. Yeah. Oh, it's funny because it hurts. Anyway, pivotal points today. That's my new thing there I just wrote. I don't know why I did. We had a little bit of a question. Darcy, handsome Darcy, who, by the way, is actually heading off to Europe.
Is he?
Next week.
He's with Tommy.
So
Maybe
he's
you
going,
can have the hard chat with Tommy.
Him and Tommy are going over there for work. They're going and doing some work over there.
Yeah,
because
so
they're
you're going
hustlers.
to lose your producer as well.
Lost the producer, lost the show. Life's fucked. Yeah. It's all going downhill from here.
Yeah, right. Europe.
Okay.
Yeah, so that was just that
was a segue
So
to
he's
what?
going to Europe. The segment was he's come up with this. He's come up with this segment. Sorry, who will win a flag first?
Yeah.
Out of all the big teams that we love talking about, because if you want to listen to Carlton, Collingwood, Richmond, go listen to Footy Classified.
Classified
Okay,
footy.
if you want to hear about Freo, Giants, Gold Coast, and the Tassie, come here.
North Melbourne as well.
North Melbourne, Hawthorn, all the shit that doesn't matter. Come to this show.
St Kilda, no one really talks about them.
That'll be in here soon. Yep. And in depth as well. Just all the shit you don't need to know.
Tell you what, popcorn stuff Saturday night. Giants and Adelaide.
Oh, that no, I've got to talk about that because
Yeah,
that was
a good
actually
game.
very
but
good.
Again, I had someone on my Instagram and the story popped up and someone was watching and they go, this reminds me of Wizard Cup days.
Yeah, I think that was on
watching the Giants and
that
Adelaide.
was on. I think that was Shane Biggs.
It was Shane Biggs.
Yeah, never forget.
Never forget Shane Biggs.
Shane Biggs, good man. We should get him on Footy and Friends.
I've done a radio.
I've never
thing
met
with
him before. Is he a different cat?
Lunatic.
He looks like a different cat
I've
the
had
way
a
he
beer with
dresses.
him, I think. Yeah, but not. I haven't done a podcast with him before. The
Wouldn't stop at one beer, I don't reckon, Shane.
No, I think he likes.
He's going to have hundreds.
He's a very, very funny character. Quite a handsome man too. Anyway, we will talk about this. Who will win a flag first out of these teams? Freo, Giants, Gold Coast, or Tasmania?
I've got the Giants winning one first. And that's not biased. That's just because I like what they're doing at the moment. They're competitive. Adam Kingsley's got them going the right way. They've got great players.
I think you're going to exclude Tassie because we don't know.
Yeah, that's true. Sorry, just to say, Darcy didn't come up with that question. It was actually at Oporto6, a listener. So thank you, Oporto.
It's great. Not a big fan of the photo on the Instagram story that was asking for questions today, by the way. It was like a photo of... That didn't look great. But anyway, I will go with the Giants also.
Yeah.
Oh, they're going to make the finals this year.
You reckon they're going to sneak in?
They are. They are.
Okay. Let's have a look.
They will.
They're ninth at the moment, I think.
Like, if you wrap your melon around this.
They're equal.
Green
They're just percentage
for
out.
the next however long. He's
Tom Green.
Yeah. They've got a good mix of experience, like Cornelio, Green,
Getting
Toby Green.
Wardy's getting older.
He's probably
How old's he?
he's not in the premiership team, but Whitfield's there. They've just got a good mix of the experience and then the youth coming through. Seems like a club that they like being at. These guys really get along and connect and commit to each other, which most of these bottom sides, they're looking elsewhere.
Yeah. The one thing I will say at the Giants is and Brett, very interested in your opinion on this, is the fact that if you take Toby out of that team, I think they're probably 6 spots lower on the ladder. I don't think there's
everyone lives with him, don't they?
There's not more of an important team where you're on one player. I just don't think they're winning games.
It's funny though because he's not kicking 10, and he's not getting 35 in the midfield, but what he does do,
you don't want to disappoint him.
Yeah, but at big moments he just
lifts.
He gives you so much effort. Bloody good to watch, bloody good player. But I can see your point and what you're making there.
So I'm just saying that's the only thing that does scare me.
Got some bad news. Schedule just came out for radio this week. Games.
Oh, you're at 4:40 Sunday.
Saints and North.
Oh, Jesus Christ! Get some
That's
tips
all
off
I could
Brett.
do. But
who kicked? I think North had kicked 3 points at half time in the last time they met. How good's that?
You've got to start talking some old Ward stories or something like that when you're out there.
Yeah, you do.
Back to
it. I'd actually say, so Giants I'm going to go with as well, but I will say too, which we might even get to next, is if Dimmer does go to Gold Coast.
It's good to be on the podcast.
On the podcast.
And he's a mountain biker. Gee whiz, he's ticking a lot of boxes
here.
There's
a lot of things happening. And you've played for Gold Coast.
Yeah.
In the twos. That would be...
Dominated.
Yeah, dominate the twos.
Yeah, true.
That would be big. So I think it's out of Gold Coast and Giants, but I'm going to go Giants.
Giants, man. I'm in on them. I think the other side's Freo are kind of...
What happens with Giants in their list, though, in the next little bit? Because they're pretty tight in terms of salary. And are they able to attract another marquee player to go there? Or they just rely on their talent coming in? Because they're going to get some picks again.
This is coming from no friendship with Witters. We're both mates with him. But I've seen that Does it look like there's a trade thing happening there?
Yeah,
or
well,
not?
I got told this yesterday too. That,
Well, it was in the news.
Potentially
It's just-
Saints are into it.
Saints,
Yeah.
really?
But I reckon I mentioned this in my pre-season
You did.
thing.
Yeah, you did.
Either earlier this year or was it last year? I can't
Was it
remember.
on this platform?
It was.
Yep.
It was in this group.
Yeah, he's on a lot of content
Yeah,
these
there
days,
is
so
a
it's
bit.
hard to get sort of.
I'm actually not.
diminishes.
I'm on ABC, which you don't listen to. A lot of other people do.
Yeah.
And I'm on this with you.
Thank
Yeah.
you. And which one do you get more compliments for being on?
None.
Winners, where's he going? This is actually really interesting stuff.
It is.
Sometimes
I think
we
it
don't
is
talk
too.
about interesting
Yeah.
stuff.
Because, well, he's got a
Wait,
healthy deal.
is this too interesting for us?
Yeah, hang on. Let's just put this. Can we cut this out?
Yeah,
if
we
it's
might
too
have to.
go with it, Brett. But if it's too interesting, we're
No,
let's
no,
go back
fine,
to
classify.
North Melbourne and
It's
talk
second hand
about
for
their
me.
halfback
It's
flankers.
second hand. Yeah, so I've got no validity to it, but it's more. It's just interesting to see what they are doing with their list space and their cap.
Let's play a little game then. Just say, for example, and this is just hearsay, if there was a team that you'd see him best fit in, who would it be? Like, who do you think should be targeting him?
Right as you ask the question, I'm thinking Saints because he just said Saints.
Him and Brad Hill.
But he fits the Ross Lyon mould. Like Ross would be like, Ross now has got a group of players that just try their hardest.
Yeah.
And he'd be like, go get me someone that can kick
Yeah.
and has a bit of class.
He needs some speed in his mids. That's
and
what I reckon.
Lockie Whitfield probably ticks
Does that
box.
release Jack Sinclair to go and mix it up more inside, you reckon? Because I don't think Witters is an inside mid.
Yeah.
Can Jack Sinclair go and be that point of difference when you've just, you got Brad Crouch, Jack Steele, and maybe Jade Gresham at times. But I think they think Jade Gresham might be on the
Yeah, I reckon he'll be on
Really?
the move.
on the move.
He's the other one I
Where's
reckon.
Jade Gresham going to go?
I don't know, Carlton maybe.
The one
Wow, he'd be good at
I
Carlton. He'd be really good.
Saints. Does Filippo go into the midfield at some
Well,
stage?
that's where he played all last year. There's a
He's
mid
like a
that can kick goals.
big-bodied.
Yeah.
Big body. Love a big body mid.
isn't
Yeah.
he? Yeah.
But
like
he's
that.
he's basically playing up front as a second tall with Machito Owens.
Yeah.
Now that
Fuck, I love that guy.
he's going to be a good
so
player. They're killing him though by playing him in the ruck. If you ask me, but
Well,
Yeah, I saw that.
I think they're
He's
doing
only pinch hitting a little
but they're
bit,
doing
though.
really well, the Saints, because they're.
well, Ross was skating on him though, and you know this better than anyone probably. He was just like,
Wasn't
we
happy.
don't, the way we perform at the moment, we won't beat anyone.
What he's at post game is it's really good to watch his interviews after the game. He goes, it doesn't matter. I think they pushed it. Yeah, we play North next week, so you get back. Why are you doing anything? This way you do everything, So if we do that today, we're not beating anyone.
Yeah, I like that from him though. I think that he's really realistic to like their supporters that don't get excited because we're not
They're
going to
on
be
an
pressing
adventure.
yet.
That's
He's
right,
like,
was his
well, it's
quote
true
yesterday.
because they're 6,
Exploration.
which is probably a bit better than.
Well, far better.
It's far better than what they actually are.
So why did they sack Rats? Why didn't they just keep exploring with Rats? But wasn't Ross? Didn't they tell us that Ross was coming in to take this
Hard edge.
We thought this list was where it needed to be and whatever else, but now all of a sudden it's maybe it's not. I don't know.
I never think that they were. I don't think that they were like ready under Rats either, though. I don't think they were ever pressing for a premiership.
They need.
I don't think.
So they just wanted to get rid of Rats.
You think so?
Now, also this year they've had to operate without King most of the year. Membry would have added a bit of spice
I think they're just going to have a
forward.
clean out. I think Ross will come in and just go.
I'm excited for trades, man. I can't wait.
Oh,
It's so good.
we're going to jump on it.
Let's jump into it. Let's jump into it. The big one was this week with Brodie Grundy.
Ooh,
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
That's massive, man.
This might be a bit too interesting for us as well.
Do we leave it? Yeah. It was.
Can't touch that.
It was so cool.
What
And,
would you
like,
do if you were him? You've just been traded to
Oh,
a club,
mate, I'd be fucking
and
out of
you're
there.
touted as like this is going to be the best thing ever. You're on a big deal,
And you go on a plane in a 15v15 at Casey.
yeah. And you're going to learn a craft that
sorry.
you've never had to learn, and that's your only way to
And
get back
Nathan
in.
Buckley and Kane Corns, I saw a little snippet on, I think it was on Twitter, they were saying, Brodie Grundy's not a fucking key forward, mate.
No.
He's a ruckman. He's a ruckman.
Well, he's a
That's-
dual All-Australian, dual BNF winning
Yeah.
ruckman.
And the funniest thing for me on the weekend, and when I say funny, it's not funny at all, but it gave me the back to the insight was like, when you've got a 15v15 VFL game and you've been dropped down to the twos. I'm looking at me and Mick now because Brett, you might not realise this. And you're sitting there in the huddle.
But just need to get whenever we had to go through twos, it was just for the minutes.
It's just for the minutes, yeah. just to
There's
get-
minutes players and then
Yeah.
there's performance players.
There's performance players. I was a performance player. And you're sitting there and the coach, you're just being dropped. So the coach wants to come out to you to show you, talk to you and be like, oh, mate, yeah, you're good here. But there was a coach, I don't know who it was, but he's walking out with his dog in like at the quarter time speaking to
Chris
Grundy.
Fagan?
I don't know who.
No,
I have no
okay,
idea
yeah,
who
yeah.
it was. Like it was
This is
from
on the
Melbourne.
weekend.
It was like
Yeah.
I don't know who the
Wasn't
guy
Choco,
was.
was it?
Might have been Chaplin.
Yep.
Not sure.
Yeah.
And he's walking out there, and Brodie Grundy's standing there. This guy who's an absolute gun. Should be playing in the AFL. And this coach is there with his dog that he's just
In his
come out
civvies.
to. He's like, is he there or is he there to walk his dog? Not sure. And he's talking to him.
Was
and
it
he goes,
Chappie? Because he's a good friend of mine.
how the
him now.
fuck can you take this seriously? Like
Where's
this
his
guy's
vision?
got his. It was a white fluffy dog. Is that Chappie? I'm
don't
not
know.
sure. And I was just like, what the fuck's going on right now? What is happening? Get your dog off the field and give this bloke some advice. You can't walk your dog and
Chappie's
support him
in
at the
front-
same time.
Didn't Chappie
Not
in
a-
charge of defence, I think?
I don't know what it was, to be honest.
So
It's
it
a
wasn't-
shit
know
story.
it wasn't Greg Stafford, was it Big Staff?
I'm not sure. I'm scared now. Let's
Greg,
not go
and
into it. I
then
don't want
Greg Stafford's enormous. So
Yeah. Well, get your dog off, Greg. Whoever it was. I don't know. But if I'm there, I don't want your dog near me while I'm trying to perform to get back into the team. Does that make sense?
Yeah, if you script
Thank
up,
you.
if you script up what a 15v15 scratch match when your two VFL sides have the bye looks like,
Yeah.
you're thinking there's dogs walking on the field and Greg Stafford talking.
Dodging the dog shit.
don't know
Anyway,
who it
what would
was.
you do?
That up.
What would you do if you
I
were
was him?
If you were Brodie, would you explore another option?
I'd be gone, 100%.
Because what is it,
But do you think Melbourne
2027?
would? Hey,
He's got 4 more years.
I think so.
After this year.
No, I'd be 100% gone.
So you'll have Collingwood paying part of his wage, Melbourne paying part of his
How does
wage,
that work for
and then the
tax?
third club will pick up.
Does that mean
what-
you have 3 employers or what?
Well,
Or is it all
shoot.
under the one banner?
I don't know how that
It'd
works.
pay a lot more.
Yeah, I don't know.
no, because I've actually no
We go on the
idea.
finance side of
Yeah.
things here.
So whoever
Yeah.
gets him in that
Shout out.
third, so the club that needs another ruckman or a key
Geelong.
ruckman, yeah,
Port
they
Adelaide.
get him for 200.
Port
Wait, so you get
Adelaide-
a
one of
Geelong.
those sides, yeah.
Mate,
The ones,
and that's the
sides
thing.
are up. Port Adelaide.
Adelaide probably need
Port
a
Adelaide
backup to
and
Riley O'Brien. Like
Geelong.
Riley's your number one, but then,
Yeah.
but do you get him there to go and then play second banana again? I don't think so.
No, I reckon
I'd say-
Geelong don't really have anyone at the
Well,
moment.
Reece
do they?
Stanley's.
Reece
I don't know
Stanley.
whether he's re-signed, but
As we're recording this,
Yeah.
Sean Darcy hurt himself on the weekend.
He
didn't
did. Ooh, what
did he do?
I reckon? I don't know. Nothing too serious.
I didn't watch
I
much footy
think.
on the weekend.
Poor Parker?
Walker.
Sorry, Walker.
Yeah,
Looked like he
yeah.
hurt his knee pretty badly.
Meniscus.
Darn it.
anyway, who else is getting traded? Because you've just named one, and that's Brodie Grundy.
Who else is getting traded?
They'll play him again, Melbourne. Like in the they'll
Ben
play him as a
Mackay.
forward
Where's Ben
in the
Mackay
next
going?
couple
Free
of weeks.
agency.
Essendon?
Yeah, is that what you're hearing?
That's the only place I've
Where's
heard.
Mitchie?
Well, I read something today that the price on his head doesn't marry up to.
Well, that's probably what the comment was before when you're pressing from 90 metres up in that game. You got to learn to probably hold on your man in the goal square.
And then the 3/4 time break comes at Marvel and Brett Ratton comes out with his dog.
Yeah,
To give you
and Brett's coming out with your dog and gives you the red vest. Like, you know that when a coach comes out with his dog, he doesn't give a fuck. That's 100%. He's just like, I'm just here to walk the dog, and you happen to be playing at the same time.
Then he wants to leave. Or giving him some feedback. Giving him
Yeah.
the wanger.
Yeah. Any other trades?
I don't know. Like I'm asking you that question.
Okay.
I'm not
What's
sure.
Darcy
What about-
Parish doing? Is
Well,
he staying
Himmel-
at the Bombers?
He hasn't signed yet, but Himmel is another one who hasn't signed or committed yet.
Yeah. Now, there's a big connection in Sydney with Leon Cameron now at the Swans.
Yes.
So I called Leon the other day because I
You
had
want to
to
get him on?
Well, that, and also I needed to get permission because I'm writing a book. I don't know if I've told you guys, and I had to get permission to everyone for them to be in it. So I called Leon, and I'm like, "Oh,
You're checking
Leon,
your phone,
Well, I
but
just want to know whether didn't make the
Oh,
cut,
no,
obviously,
no,
mate,
no.
which is good because I
knew
know
you-
where you'd go with it.
I knew you guys would actually ask to be paid for it, and I just went to the people that wanted to be
I want
there.
a commish.
So I went to Leon. I was like, Leon, he goes,
just
how are you, young man?
How are you, lad?
How are you, lad? I was like, oh, mate, I'm really well. Hey, look, this
Writing
is
a
what's
book.
going on. He goes, I'm writing a book. He goes, you're writing a book, are you, mate? I was like, yeah.
do
He
you
goes,
play twos?
what are you writing a book about? I was like, wow, it's just a story. And he goes, that's good. That's good. Yeah, I'll be in your book.
So
I'll be in your
Leon's
book.
one of those guys, right? There's a lot of people that would look at you and be like, what are you writing a book about?
Yeah.
Like Nathan
No,
Buck.
yeah, exactly. But no, Leon was, I was chatting with him. He's at the Swans at the moment.
So's Spike.
So is Spike.
So is
So is
Amon.
Amon Buchanan. So that whole team nearly
And
that he's
Damo
under.
Truslove.
And Damo Truslove. So there's 4 coaches from the Giants in and out at the Swans.
So the
There's a
bond is
heavily
strong.
connection. There's a bond strong.
And he's got a girlfriend who's a Sydney girl as well, I reckon. The other one I did hear was big Tom Barras from West Coast.
yeah, I've heard
heard
he's
that.
going there.
To Swans
To
as well.
Swans as well.
Did you ring
yeah.
Leon too? Because I'm not going to coach the 700s. Did you ask if he could
I
come
did
down?
ask him about this.
Could he come down?
700s. Ted
How's the
Richards.
traction going with that
Sorry.
thing?
Is Ted coming
Are
to
you
700s?
bogged? I reckon you're bogged. You got zero traction.
Ted Richards was also a big fan of the 700s. No, I think a big fan as in not a fan at all. And he was talking about he said if you need any help handing out the other 350 bibs to give him a call.
There's a lot of oranges you've got to cut up.
Shit.
Where's it got to?
No, it hasn't got anywhere.
Have you found the ground?
No, not yet, mate. We're still working on it. It's been funny because we've had so many people going like, mate, we need it. So it's actually gone up to like 1,000 now. So it's too many, and we're gonna have to pause it for now. But it's coming back.
Shit,
Don't worry.
idea.
Yeah.
Shocking.
Fuck up, Darcy. What are you laughing about? Oh, shit. If Tommy did it, you'd be fucking down there, wouldn't you? Yeah.
Not for free.
Here we go. Boys, Kane Corns, friend of the show.
Yeah.
I love his stuff, Kane. I absolutely love it. It's fantastic. He calls it how it is. It's not that I don't call it how it is. I just don't think of the things. But on the weekend, I was watching a bit of footy, and Zach Merritt.
Yep.
You know, there's a bit of stuff at the moment.
200th
game, getting cheered off. And I was like, oh yeah, whatever. I was like, that's a bit weird, but good on you. That's great. Like, you got beat, just get off, but sort of whatever. He wasn't happy with it.
No.
He doesn't want anyone getting...
No.
Anyone.
I think you can be cheered off just by your teammates to your fans, but I don't think we need a guard of honour.
Guard of honour.
I think that's a bit much.
Yeah, you've said it right.
Because I was there and
You've been beaten by 77 points.
the change rooms were over...
The other side of the ground.
GMHBA, it's like the away change rooms far side, Geelong near side.
Yes.
And then it was just like slowly things were happening and I'm watching and like...
So who do you reckon's put their hand up?
From Geelong?
Yeah.
To go over there. Oh, like they're a pretty respectful side, like you know, Stewart and Mitch Duncan and
Danger.
all those guys. Danger, there you go. He would have been like, let's go over.
Should we tell them to harden up?
I think, boys, fucking pathetic.
You heard it here first. Footy Friends. Mick said it's pathetic.
Too much respect. It's too much respect.
No, kudos to Zach Merritt, 200.
Yeah, great.
Like, that's great effort, but you have been smacked and... 300.
I don't think he should have... Yeah, if that was some of the other boys, like Ryan Griffin played his last ever game on the G. We got beaten in the semi-final against Collingwood. Yeah. Oh, mate, we're going to cheer you up. You know, cheer you. I'm not having a bar of it. Didn't want to be a...
Yeah, I've never heard of... I've thought of him, but Ryan Griffin seems like that must epitomise him. Because he just walked off that field. Yeah. I've never heard about him since.
No, he is the most down-to-earth
at the moment.
He doesn't even have a phone, I don't think. He doesn't even like communicate.
He does, because haven't you seen his Insta? He's all over it.
No, but that's his missus. It's Jazz.
Not all of it. Yeah. Big Gary Love doesn't mind the old Insta.
Well, they're very, very rarely in... Yeah, he's driving around and he's...
he needs reception, though, so he can FaceTime Jez, because they're like this. Obviously, the sisters are...
Best mates.
Anyway, pathetic. Great effort to get to 200. Get beaten by 77. Yeah, and he'll play for another 100.
But this is not on Zach Merritt. This is Geelong going and doing the guard of honour.
I've got a better one for you that doesn't get brought up enough. I'm trying to think of the game that really stood out for me. It was something recently where I was like, I reckon it might have been like Buddy Franklin. And it's the thing around, like, you know, I've never cheered someone off the ground, nor should I have. Because, like,
was there a fight? Was there a fight to cheer him?
No, there wasn't a fight, but it's like, I think players have to be aware of who gets to cheer off the champions. Yeah. Because you've got to nearly have champions cheer off the champions.
Well, it's either that or their best mates.
Or their best mates. Yeah.
Which, and there's a big hole in this theory. When you finish, I'll circle back because I've got something stored.
Good.
It's in the holsters.
I don't really have the actual players who it was, and it's no offence to these, but it was more the fact that, like, Buddy's obviously played past a lot of his teammates. Yeah. So there's no one at the Swans now.
Well, it's not Hodgie and Ruff, is it?
It's not Hodgie and Ruff. Like, it's not like all the guys that, you know,
it's definitely not Hodgie and Ruff.
Who are they? They're good fellas.
It's definitely not them. You know what? It might have been because I don't know who the fuck the other blokes were that were doing it. No, I think it was just two guys from... I think it might have been like Hayden McLean and someone else.
John Marty.
They go on hot.
But I don't. They go on hot.
You've got to have big boys that can do it.
Poor Buddy. Yeah. At the end of his career, like, he's going to look back at his 300 game.
You reckon his kid's going to be like, who are those two?
Who's Hodgie and Huff?
Yeah, Hayden McLean and Joel Amati. It's because they're probably quite tall.
No, they are.
We don't even know whether that's who it was, but
maybe they're great mates.
I don't even know who it was. But
I've got one.
Okay. Do you agree with what I'm saying?
Yeah, 100%. Like, and again, very, 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 very appropriate that Matthew Pavlich gets chaired off with guard of honour from both sides after his last game.
Yeah, sure.
And the whole stadium.
That is a perfect time to do it.
The whole stadium stayed. He was young.
Do Did Sheridan put him on the show?
Sheridan, I don't know if he played. I didn't play. I was injured. And so that's just validating that if available, I would have been playing.
Yeah.
Didn't play. But the whole club had to go out and wait for Pav to do, it felt like 4 laps of honour.
As they should.
I was a bit over it because I knew I was getting the arse that week. So I was like, hurry up, Pav. Enough stuff. But anyway, doing the laps, and no one had left. And I reckon the Bulldogs boys are like, they're about to stay out there for an extra half. Are they going to win the flag this year? So they're a bit of resilience here. They've had to stay out there. And I'm looking around thinking, who's going to chair Pav off? I'm looking at McFarlane's there, Mundy, Sandilands is there. Fifey's there. And anyway, push comes to shove. I look up. Sandilands has got him. Great. Zach Clark has thrown Pav on the shoulders. And
surely Pav would have been like, settle down, Zach. Just go back. Maybe you sit behind us, just in case of fall.
But poor old Clarkie, what I found most bemusing about it, he was held together by tape by the end of the season, so he's got like both knees, one of which he's never recovered from a Falls Festival incident where he did his knee on a hill and missed half a season, which didn't go down too well with Ross Lyon.
No, I can imagine.
But right, Clarkie, Sandilands, Pavlich, and I'm like, ooh, it's just something
Would
not right
Pav have
here.
been fuming with that, you think? Like internally, would he have been fuming?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's so good. So good. So I think we just put it on notice now. Whenever you see those games, make sure you send them in and you think, not sure about this.
So I think it's a great segment. If there's a milestone this week, who's chairing that player? Those players.
So we played in Kane's 300 before we move on.
Yes.
We played in Kane Street. So we gave him a guard of honour. 300 games.
Kane...
Corns,
of course.
Yeah. We played him and we knocked them off, mind you, over there, which was always good.
Who carried him?
Matty White. No, I don't know.
Matty White was a good player. I've got a funny story about Matty White, actually.
Probably Toby Thurstons and Tom Logan.
Yes.
Tommy Logan, he was tough to play against.
Can you imagine if like... Oh, yeah. Anyway, it's a really one I always look at when I'm like, who's cheering him off? Either like their mates or what? Because I think that's somewhat organised. Geelong did it where like even Selwood, for example, I think it was Hawkins and maybe Mackie, and Mackie came... off the ground, like you're not even playing anymore, and did it. So they weren't letting bloody Grind Myers do it with him.
Jake Colajasny.
We've got to talk about Grind Myers this week. Did you?
What are we going to talk about?
Jared Waitley?
Oh, with the messy stuff.
Mate, that was one of the funniest things
I
I've ever
haven't
seen.
really kind of bought into the whole... So you wouldn't have either, I reckon. You and I are a bit more mature than this.
Yeah.
So
I don't really care for it.
let me explain to you guys what's happened
it,
here. Basically what's happened is someone on the internet's made up a meme, and it says like, Grind Myers is what Messi is to like AFL. He scans the vision like no other, more goal assists, and it's like got Jared Waitley behind it as a quote. Obviously, some people would have thought that was real. And what you do with the internet, you can't beat the internet. Okay, anyone out there, any boomers out there, young people know you can't beat the internet. Laugh it off, go with it. He's bitten like hard. He's tweeting the guy like, take this down. Fake tweet. So it's like it's more sending it out even more.
Viral.
Goz finds it. Goz starts uploading it.
Actually, that's
Jared's
where I'm
messaging him on Instagram
Really?
like, Daniel, take this down. Fake tweet. And then he goes on SEN and he goes, and to the trolls, Justin and Daniel, remove the tweet. And it's like calling everyone out. And then all of a sudden it just goes fucking viral.
Go to bed, Jared.
It goes
Go
viral.
home.
It was
So
it was
the best way, like, again, hindsight's a beautiful thing. He should have just been like, right, this isn't me. Haha, great stuff.
Yeah, you go, haha, Grind Myers, what a great player. Yeah, I guess he is a little bit like Messi. Like, and it's people go, oh, that's a ridiculous call, but it's just funny.
Or he's got the platform where he can go on radio and say, that wasn't me.
Yeah.
So, but anyway,
now you can
Who
guarantee
cares?
for life now, forever, people will continue to make fake tweets.
Yeah, exactly. It's a bit like the mountain biking stuff.
It is a little bit like that, isn't it?
And being taken to the square, it's all horseshit.
Isn't it?
You keep going with it.
Well, if you had gone with it, which you are now, it disarms it, and now it's not funny.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Except when I go and meet up with my young blokes who I'm going out for lunch with, and they go, "Oh, mate, I want to ask you about the mountain biking. How is it?" Like, you little fucker.
Have you got hard outs or?
3:30.
I know you got hard outs.
No, I'm actually pretty good.
Just extend the invoice a bit.
I was going, yeah,
That's all right.
yeah.
Why? What?
Oh, wow. Nothing.
I'm asking for Mick as his agent.
As an
He's
agent.
a Max Sports
Let's go
client
on the
now.
run home.
Yeah.
Bombers Bulldogs Friday night is huge.
Massive.
Yeah.
Who wins?
Bulldogs.
Bombers.
Easy.
I reckon Bombers.
Bulldogs.
Bulldogs, you reckon?
Something about the Bulldogs, I don't trust them. I was talking
about this with someone else the other day. They're bottom 6 at the moment. The Dogs is letting them down.
Yeah,
I
actually, I
think.
got recency bias. I watched Essendon on the weekend, and they were poo.
Yeah.
But the week before they played Adelaide, and they were remarkable. So
They both play Marvel really well.
Yeah.
So that'll be a flip of the coin if you ask me. I don't think the Dogs
Bombers.
are going anywhere near as well as what they should be.
Neither. I think Bombers by far. I feel like they'll pump them. I'm not sure why.
Really?
but
Pump them?
I like the Bombers. I reckon they're huge, and I
mate.
always a big one on like responding too. Like they didn't perform in a
but
game
the
where
Dogs
they
lost as well.
Yeah, I know, but they didn't perform in a 200 game milestone, as we said how
Yeah.
important they are earlier.
Yeah.
I just feel like they're going to be ready for next week. Do you like that?
I hate it because I hate when clubs kind of get themselves up after being down.
Yeah.
Well,
Yo.
Like,
Yeah.
hang on, you've just.
Well,
given
no,
me
we had a chat on this weekend about your team this week. You're playing. Did you play? Did you?
Yeah, they
play-
smacked them by
Did you smack
150 points.
Did you smack the Northern Blues?
Northern
Bullants.
yeah.
Sorry, we were talking about this, weren't we? To go behind the scenes,
Oh,
if you're happy to.
they'd been done the week before by a similar margin.
So
and wait.
we were saying about this is the worst thing is going into a game when you're meant to smash a team because then it's like how do you get the players ready? Werribee went in again with a great coach that's primed them to beat a team again.
well,
You know where
I-
you've learnt this from De La Salle, coaching the De La Salle boys, because they just pump everyone. And he's just like, boys, stick to task.
Our winning stuff. I've started to do like keynotes, presentations before the games.
I'd book you. How much?
Actually, for you.
Yeah. I'll go through Brett.
You know when let's talk about invoice. When I invoice and I say, please pay by the date.
No.
Acknowledge the date.
No. You go with our pay run, which is at the end of the month.
I'm going to check my account because you told me you'd get that sorted today. Now.
You've just got to. It's got to keep the players fresh. Bit of variety this time of year, boys. July, variety.
Winter.
Variety in the
Mundane.
training. Yeah, give them a day off.
Keep
do
it boring.
this, play a bit of bloody handball.
Yeah.
Yippee. Well,
Play
geez, I'm
Uno.
excited. I
How
can't
good was
wait.
it when
Get
they
on
brought the
the
soccer
piss.
ball out?
Yeah, go out to the 700
it.
club.
Get up. Yeah.
Can you stop banging the table? People don't like that when they're listening. Thank you. All right, so we're going with. I'm going with the Bombers. You boys, Bulldogs.
I don't know.
You going Bomb?
I don't know.
I'm a bit with
Honestly,
Brett. The doggies are untrustworthy.
Again,
I think the Dogs will bounce. The
tackling the big issues again.
I am going to tip the Dogs.
Can we talk about Luke Beveridge's chompers? They annoy me. Like, didn't need them. He was a handsome guy.
Has he gone and got fake teeth?
Yeah.
I haven't noticed.
Mate,
Nor have I.
holy, like, they're bigger
Are they
than,
Tony Jones?
Bigger
Chomp,
than
chomp?
Tony Jones. Man, check him out. It's fucking mental. I'm just like, I don't, you never get into someone's dental issues, but like, just feel like there's not needed sometimes.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, tackling the big issues as always. Giants won 6 from 7. Can they squeeze into the 8?
Yes.
I reckon they can.
Yes.
I think they can too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm a bit biased because I tipped them to make the 8, and we'll do it at the end, our ins and outs. Before the season, I tipped them to make the 8. Felt like it was a bit rogue.
Yeah.
And they're on the run.
I think my teams, Hawks and West Coast, aren't going to make it, unfortunately. Carlton have won the last 4. West Coast this week. Are they giving the fans false hope?
Say again.
Are they giving the fans false hope? Sorry,
Well-
I've been reading my book all morning. I'm doing an audio book, and
Yeah.
it's like
Oh, you got a book.
we've got to exaggerate some of the sentences. So it's. Can you imagine the bloke recording my book and him having to listen to me for 4 hours trying to string a sentence together? Have some sympathy.
Yeah. Empathy.
Anyway.
Verbatim. So do you think Blues are there?
Yeah. I don't know. I liked what they were able to do, but Port Adelaide had a lot of outs on the weekend. I think the biggest test for them, again, will be against Collingwood in a couple of weeks.
The Blues have had the pressure valve released. No one's
We asked
talking
Vossi
about
about that. Yeah, we had him on the ABC. Would
Here
you
we
believe?
go.
So
Where- how'd
Vossi
you get
was-
him?
Is there a
Yeah.
podcast to catch up on?
Yeah, there is actually. So Vossi came on and
Put that on
said,
for
"No, I
next
think
night."
we're always under pressure." I was like, "Yeah, I've been in this position before too, where you don't think you can make finals, so you release and you start playing free."
Yeah.
You know, so
There was a show that I watched last night. It showed their game style change and just
going forward, Yeah.
quicker, getting it into the big boys. Mackay's out for a while, which I don't think will hurt them as much as people are thinking. Like, great player, he's in their best team clearly, but I think it probably allows Charlie to be Charlie a bit more freely, and then the other guys will pop up.
Silvani.
So
I
yeah,
think it
I'm
was
seeing
Sauce,
Carlton
4.
and Giants who are out coming in, skipping forward here.
And going who? St Kilda
and
Essendon out.
I think the Saints have got to really drop then, don't they? They're just going to lose all the rest of their games.
It feels like they should have been out already. They
How were
kept losing.
How were they fourth like a week ago? I was like, what the hell?
If
Crazy.
they had won on the weekend, they probably stay around there.
mental. Brisbane, MCG Hoodoo.
Yep.
Did you guys have a Hoodoo when you were playing?
Yeah,
Mix Hoodoo.
against the Cats down at GMHBA.
Oh, yeah.
I think we won one game down
Nah,
there.
Hawks used to.
You get
Launceston.
So we've done the predictions for top 8. I'm going to agree with both you. Blues and Giants in. Saints and
Bombers.
Bombers out. Yeah.
That'll be
Where are the Dogs
disappointing.
at the moment?
for
Are they
them.
out?
No, they're in.
Yeah, they hold on.
I'm going to say Bombers. Dogs out.
Okay.
Bombers in.
But you're tipping.
I'm tipping
Bombers is-
I'm tipping the Bombers.
Yeah,
I like
gotcha.
it.
Gotcha. Why not?
Yeah.
So I would have said the Crows were half a sniff too, but then they just keep not getting it done, which really hurts
What do you
them.
think of Rochelle punching Jack Buckley in the face? That was
Oh,
a bit,
I
that was
thought
a
he
bit
just it was a
random.
hot head
It was
explosion.
Golden Valley trait, that.
Yeah.
That was random.
Down at Lemnos, he's from
Didn't see that
Shepherd
one
and
coming.
Swans.
Yeah.
Didn't see that coming. Questions from the listeners to finish up, boys.
Oh,
Lots.
fantastic.
And
Can't wait for these.
We've taken there was a lot of mountain bike questions.
Yeah, we
There
take
was
them
a
out.
lot. I think we have taken
Have
them
we
all
got
out.
time? Hit me up personally if you want to know some in-depth stuff.
And if they want to buy his bike.
Yeah, if they want to buy his bike.
Yeah.
Just give us a top 3 bike off the top. Because I used to be a Kona rider when I was into the dirt jumping when I was a kid. Just go down to the dirt jumps.
Yep.
Do you like Konas?
No, I'm not into them.
Specialised.
Specialized got good bikes.
Yeah.
I'm on the Cannondale at the moment, which is really cool.
You dual suspension, back
shock.
and front?
Yeah. Mine's more enduro bike though, so larger shocks, 170 clearance.
Mine's 180 clearance.
So it's a downhill bike essentially. Yeah, nice.
Shocks.
You don't know what you're talking about.
No, I do.
Yeah, right.
Tail whip the fuck out of it.
Do you?
Yeah, I do.
Anyway,
So we're gonna
we go for a great place down in Forest, mate. If you want to come down to Forest, that's awesome.
When are you going next?
I'm not telling you.
I would love to come.
Yeah, well, you're not invited.
Okay. Well,
It's a special crew.
What does that mean?
who goes in the crew?
No, I can't tell you.
Tell me the crew. Tell me the crew.
Do you used to play with them?
No, it's brother, cousin, and a couple
Dimmer?
other boys. Yeah, from down Torquay way.
Let's just go with the player that you used to play with that you would be least surprised if they were
Mountain biking.
mountain bikers.
Well, Brett's one
Yeah,
of them.
but present company
Played that one
excluded.
game, the two together, when he was coming back.
I played that one as well.
He was getting the minutes.
Minutes to Leo.
That was actually all three of us played in that one game.
We should get the highlights up from
well,
that.
3/4 time, Nick Malcheski, who was the coach of the Neefel Suns, came in and said, "Boys, take him to the end because Deledio will touch his minutes. He'll tap out, and we'll run over the top of him."
Did you talk about me in the pre-game?
No. He might fly off the back of the square, boys, and try and win
was
the
there
game
any
for him.
chat about like
Yeah, it was
just
like- I think-
enabling what I was like trying to stop me?
That was the day Daniel Lloyd had a little posse there in the
I
pocket.
do remember that.
And we had a couple of under-16 academy kids playing that got the roles.
Yeah.
On the
Do you ever remember sort of being in one of those, because we played a few games to each other, any time when like my name come up and they're like, we've got to stop him from this? Did that ever happen? Head on a plate type thing?
In the Suns reserves, we were very much just worried about what we can control, how we play.
But do you think maybe I was infiltrating the Suns? Like they didn't want to voice their fears in talking about me because then it would have freaked out the players or the 16-year-olds that was playing against me?
No.
We just said that number
It's hard
7.
to
We
hear.
didn't even know your name. We just called you by number.
I was 43, mate. I wasn't number 7.
Yeah, Carlton.
I would go
my
with-
my
yeah,
biggest
go-
thing was I always wished that like they were talking about you in the other.
in your head, you're just like,
you're
I'm going to show them.
Yeah.
It's like I'm playing half forward. He's tagging me this bloke.
Or there used to be like
I'm getting tagged, boys. Yeah, mate, you're playing half forward. He's half back.
They used to get a still shot of like the 3/4 time huddle, and they'd have like the team, their team,
And then a
line up,
name
and
on
then everyone's magnet below,
Yeah.
like everyone's, everyone to the interchange.
Yeah. Oh my god.
They're thinking about me there. They've got
Isolate him.
clearly they've targeted Grant Birchall for me. And then you review the tape, and all Grant Birchall did all day was just 45s and fold back.
I actually remember one day, I don't want to talk about this, but I remember one day, it would have been my first couple games, we were playing against Essendon, and I remember actively they were talking about me, but in a way of like, if you get this bloke, take him deep. Because I just remember whenever I'd go on someone, they'd just be like, get back. I was like, okay, what's happening here? Do they think I'm just too dangerous to be up high? Or I think actually it was that. Yeah, it wasn't. No, it was definitely that. It was he's too attacking. We've got to get him deep. Anyway, questions from the listeners. Aidan McShane. What are the best footy grounds of all time to play on? Can be country, AFL, or wherever.
Mackay excluded, clearly. Mackay Recreation
Deep.
Reserve.
That was a great
Blacktown.
deck. That was a great deck.
I'd say no. The G is easily the best deck to play on.
Yeah.
When it's a full house or near enough to a full house, there's nothing better.
I reckon I would have played on the G more than you.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I was.
Because that's the crazy part, isn't it? When I got up to the
Would've been lucky to
Giants,
play
I reckon
double
I was the
digits.
second most games on the G and you were the first.
Yeah, I think I played 100.
Because it just shows you how little you guys play there. I think I
Yeah.
played about 7.
Even when we made finals, they sent us to Geelong.
Yeah.
I'd be like, we're not let
Favourite
turf
deck?
management. Fremantle are in town. Fucking send them down the Princess.
Yeah,
Favourite deck?
Adelaide Oval.
Yeah, okay.
There
I
was
hated
something
that
about
I never played there.
the atmosphere.
always found it
Was-
slippery, so I couldn't work out what boots to wear.
Yeah.
Same with
I
the
just wore the
SCG.
one pair of boots I got given at the start of the
One
year.
with studs on them.
Yeah. Just the one pair.
My favourite deck, but like in terms of not the atmosphere, but in terms of best carpet, was Launceston,
Yeah,
the Hawks one.
huge deck too.
Like, I remember going out there once, but it looked like a fairway of like
It's beautiful.
gold. It was just the most
Did
impeccable.
you ever train on the Wacker? The Wacker was like that. It was like lawn bowls out there.
Yeah.
Which one's a whacker?
Next,
Subi?
No, that's not Subi. No.
Next to the river.
It's the old cricket
where is
ground.
it?
No, I never played on the whacker.
Yeah.
I never trained there.
No.
It was
That and
cricket
also
ground.
early days Giants. I loved playing at
Yeah,
Giant,
'cause
at
it's smaller,
Giant Stadium.
yeah.
Small and just it was
And 'cause
always
you
in.
get beat up on the kids that were playing.
And I was playing on 14-year-olds, so it's pretty. You know, if you didn't come up with 4, it was a bad game.
When you were playing for Carlton.
No, when I was playing for the Giants. Oh, Mick. Settle. Thomas Stewart. Oh, this is very interesting. Thomas Stewart. I broke my leg at footy last year. Still waiting for a text from Big Mick. Broken leg club is a myth.
Well, Thomas says some prerequisites. To
What's
be in
the
break.
prerequisites?
You've got
Stretch
to
it
have,
off.
And you've got to have played above the level of, let's say, interleague
Okay.
locally.
Wow.
So Thomas, I've left Thomas a small chance there
Yeah.
to potentially
So
get a
maybe
reply.
if a couple guys leave the group, do you sort of go next in line who's up? Or
Well, yeah,
is he a chance
so
to
there was when there's a broken
say Nathan
leg.
Brown's like, I'm over this. I
So
want to
Charlie
move on.
Comben went down earlier this year. Looked like a fracture.
Yeah.
Like the untrained eye was like fracture. So we dropped out. Gary Rowan.
Yeah.
Because he was probably 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Dropped him out.
Yeah.
And because I'm an admin, I can't get dropped out.
Yes.
And then it came out that Charlie Comben had just done like a
Hairline.
syndesmosis. So
You're out.
we
Do you retract
re-added
the message?
we re-added we re-added Gary Rowan. But on that, I sent you guys a WhatsApp group that I got removed from.
Oh, you did.
Did you remember this?
It
When I
was
said-
Tom
Morris.
Tom Morris, who's yes.
So like Brett does ABC, I do SEN.
Yes.
And every now and then you get called up. Obviously, when Tom's unavailable, when Josh Jenkins is unavailable, when Scotty Lucas is unavailable, when a few others are unavailable, they're
Yeah.
like, let's get Mick in
Yeah.
under suffrance. So they added me to the group for the Sunday show, and I was like, I'm in. They're like, here's what you're doing. Beautiful, Mick. This is your responsibility. Great to have you on board. They're all these enthusiasm, all the right things. They're saying all the right things. I'm feeling good about the show. I get in, I do a great job on the show. Talk with Josh Gabelich. Cam Luke came off the bench.
No, Cam Luke from the NBL.
We were kind of talking about hoops.
Yep.
NBL, horse racing.
Shoot your shot.
And then the show finished. I'm like, walked out feeling pretty good about myself.
Might be back next week.
Yep, a pretty good performance. Monday comes, and literally, credit to him, credit to Tom. He actually said, "Great stuff, Mick. Killed it!" Exclamation mark. And then all you see is Tom Morris removed you from the chat.
There's nothing worse than being removed from a group.
Yeah.
You got to get on the front foot. I reckon.
I just
You thought you were
did
in.
not think 1 second that. I thought I just start another group and leave that one.
Leave that ticket for all banters, like
Yeah.
in a month's time. Hey boys, remember that,
Remember that
with Lukey, and we're talking about the
and
NBL. And
Josh, we talked about.
You should have seen it coming, to be honest.
Yeah.
I reckon you should have done it
Got to be
first.
more aware. Grace Alvina. Grace Alvina. Brett,
Yeah.
how do you mentor manage an injured player like Bull after yesterday's game? That's an interesting question.
Yeah, it's more so.
How long's he out for?
I don't know whether they haven't got scans back yet.
What did he do?
He kicked himself in the back of the leg.
Oh,
and
that's-
hobbled off.
that hurts.
He's been under sufferance a bit of late. I don't know whether you noticed he shuffled in here the other day.
did.
He's had a
He's a
problem
bit
with his
sore.
fat pad on his heel. He's got a bung shoulder that he's getting jabbed. He's
doing it
He's
all.
doing it tough. So
Carrying the
scans
screws.
today. We'll find out, but I'm catching up with him Thursday.
So
That's how you manage it.
So it won't be. Don't knock the wood. Anyhow, the listeners have said.
Oh yeah, sorry. No, but for the thing I'm about to say, touch wood, you have to sort of do it. Would you look at that as a group, as the Broken Leg Club, and be like, hey, look,
Kicked himself in
he
the-
kicked himself in the leg here. Do we Do you go and consult with the doctors or the surgeons and be like,
I don't. No. But
have you been asked by North to talk about that or not? Okay, well, let's hope that everything's okay then. I liked it. There you go. That's good. Anyway, I think we've covered all the important issues today,
Make sure you
boys.
pull out the Whitfield chat and the
and anything else. Keep
in the beverage teeth thing.
No, I think I might take that out. I'm not sure if that's actually true or not. But anyway, Illy XX, I'll see you boys next week.
Here we are.
If I pay the invoices.
Yeah. Sending one as we speak.
I'll get onto that. Thanks, guys. And make sure you keep shooting your questions through if you want us to talk about anything. I always think we have nothing to talk about. Then you come in here and we're bloody...
An hour and 15.
An hour and 15 later, which is great.
Mountain biking.
We've got to have that. Yeah, we've got to talk about that. And also, off air, we've stopped recording. I need to talk to you about coaching this 700.